Tempo FM.
Thank you, Anna Bates, for that. You are back with Rebecca. We're doing something a little bit different, where the theme this week is all about flowers, whether you received some for Valentine's Day or whether you're enjoying watching them starting to come up through the ground after this winter, even if it is quite wet out there. So let's dive straight back in with some music. And this is I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker with Flowers in My Hair by Sandy Tom. Sandy Tom there with I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker with Flowers in My Hair. And although she sings about a world that doesn't care, I think we are all definitely starting to care again now, especially with the plastic pollution that is making its way into every space and creature in the ocean. I mean, it's appalling. Well, that's not the topic for today. The topic today is all about flowers. And I found this nice song this morning, and it's called A Dozen Roses and a Six Pack, and it's called by Cole Swindell, and it's actually a country song. I'm not usually a massive fan of country. I haven't sort of quite got into it. Like, I'll sit and enjoy it, but I wouldn't sort of choose to listen to it, except for Dolly Parton. You can't go wrong with Dolly Parton. I'm probably a little bit typical there, but I found this one and I actually really like it. It's pretty cool. So here we go. Cole Swindell with A Dozen Roses and a Six Pack. Cole Swindell there with A Dozen Roses and a Six Pack. I quite liked how that peters out at the end and you just get the nice instrumental just to close it off, nice and relaxing. Right, so the next song is going to be all about tulips. It is 11 minutes past 12. I'm doing lots of songs about flowers and tulips are the next one on here. So tulips, I think everyone knows who grows the most tulips. It's of course the Netherlands. They're the main producer of the commercial tulip plants, producing as many as 3 billion bulbs every single year, the vast majority of them for export. And if you ever see photos of the Netherlands and the tulip fields, they are just incredible. Like they're colourful, they stretch for miles and miles, and it's just like a big patchwork of just of colour. It's fantastic. But the meaning of tulips is generally perfect love, and like many flowers, their different colours also carry their own significant meaning. So red tulips are strongly associated with true love, while purple symbolises royalty. Of course, very royal colour, purple. Very difficult colour to produce long ago. Blue and purple were the two difficult colours to produce long ago, which is why they're associated with wealth and royalty. The meaning of yellow tulips has evolved somewhat from once representing hopeless love to now being a common expression for cheerful thoughts and sunshine. So a bit like the sunflower, there's a nice, positive, happy, let's be nice and cheerful colour. White tulips are used to claim worthiness or to send a message of forgiveness. And variegated tulips, once among the most popular varieties due to their striking colour patterns, represent beautiful eyes. So if you think someone has beautiful eyes, get them tulips with lots of different colours in. If you want to help cheer someone up, get them yellow. If you are very, very much in love with them and you feel it is true love, red tulips are the way to go. So here we go. Here's my tulip-based song. This is actually used in a film which I watched last night. It's actually a horror film, but if you listen to the song by itself, it's actually quite a nice song, but put into a horror context, in all fairness, I think any song put into a horror context would make it like quite a spooky song, but that's not what this one is. This one is by Tiny Tim and it's called Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Tempo FM weather.
Let's have a look-see at what is being left over from, was it Storm Dennis? I said it just earlier and I've forgotten what it was. So today, a cloudy start with occasional showers, cloud then breaking to sunny spells, moving through the morning, although isolated blustery and heavy showers will remain very likely and most frequent across the Pennines, of course, where it's higher up. Hail and the odd rumble of thunder is also possible, and it will stay windy throughout the day with a maximum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius. Tonight, it's staying windy overnight with clear spells and further occasional showers, these turning wintry over the higher Pennines, but many eastern parts remaining dry, chance of frost in sheltered spots, and a minimum temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, also looking windy with sunny spells and further blustery showers. So keep everything tied down, folks.
Good times, great songs.
At the heart and soul of the Lower Wharf Valley.
This is Tempo FM.
Tempo FM.
It is 18 minutes past 12 and you are listening to Rebecca doing something a little bit different, where the theme this week is all about flowers. And the next song I'm going to play for you is called Amaryllis. And Amaryllis is the name of a flower which mostly grows in Africa, so in very harsh conditions. And it is a flower that means pride, but also means pastoral poetry. And it is a flower of determination, radiant beauty, as well as, and of course, pride. Mythology has it that Amaryllis was a shepherd woman who loved another shepherd named Alteo, and this man also loved flowers. And it's a beautiful red, striking colour that, as I said, it tends to grow in very, very difficult in a very difficult environment where it's often quite arid and dry, and yet it somehow manages to continue to grow. So I'm going to play you Amaryllis by Shinedown, which is an American rock band. Don't worry, it's not too rocky. I do check my songs before I play them. Shinedown there with Amaryllis, playing for you now from Tempo FM. That's 107.4 from the heart of Wetherby. You're listening to Rebecca doing something a little bit different. It is 23 minutes past 12 and today it's all about the flowers. I've been giving you the meanings of flowers, and I will give you the meaning behind, or the symbolism behind, roses, but I'm going to do that at the end because they're kind of the big flower that has probably had millions upon billions of units sold just in the last week or so, of course, for Valentine's Day. So the next song I'm going to play for you is called Roses, and it's by the Kaiser Chiefs. Coming up after this, I'm going to play you Edelweiss from The Sound of Music. Roses by the Kaiser Chiefs, and I said the next song I'm going to play is Edelweiss from the Sound of Music soundtrack, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the flower now. So it's only a little flower, it's the little white one, and it's associated with strength and toughness. It also came to be a symbol of courage, bravery and love because of how high up the Edelweiss grew, obviously growing high up in the mountains and the hills. And if your partner were to bring you an Edelweiss flower, it would mean they have climbed up to a very high altitude to get it, possibly even a dangerous one. So I think don't get me wrong, you don't have to, it's up to you if you want to go out and risk yourself to show how much you love someone. But you kind of don't need to do that now. Treat them nice, take them out for a meal, buy them a bunch of flowers. There are other people who will go up and get Edelweiss for you, so you don't have to go and do anything reckless or dangerous. Anyway, here is the song Edelweiss from the Sound of Music soundtrack.
What's on, where to go and what to do. The Tempo FM What's On Guide.
Let's have a look at what's happening in Wetherby and in the surrounding villages. So there are a number of activities happening at Mason House. So on Friday, they have a film club, Friday 7th of February. Oh, that's actually just gone, apologies. Next one that is available, indoor bowls. Thursday the 27th of February, 2 p.m. onwards. It's now a regular event at the centre. So those attending so far have had a very enjoyable afternoon, showing their competitive side. Come along and add to those already attending with refreshments available. That's at Mason House. Also at Mason House, the armchair exercise on the 25th of February, 2 p.m. onwards. That's on Tuesday. Looking to improve this event with those attending, watching and exercising to an armchair exercise DVD. Sounds like fun. Come along and try this new concept. Refreshments will be available. And let's have another look here what's going on. Thursday, February 20th, Epiphany Cafe, Next Drop-In Cafe at Tockworth Church is on Thursday, February 20th between 2pm and 4pm. Just a time for people, regular churchgoers and those who do not attend church, to pop in for a cup of tea or coffee, cake and a chat. I'm always there if it's going to be cake. You can contact Jenny Tham. Her number is on the website. And as we were talking about before, and as Paul had in the studio, members from Wetherby Musical Theatre Group who are doing Whistle Down the Wind from this Tuesday, Wednesday, is it this Tuesday? Yes, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, all this week. There may still be tickets available. It's at Wetherby High School for Whistle Down the Wind, and tickets are £10 for adults under 12s, £8, and available from the Wetherby Library, group members and online. Their website is again on our website, which I'll give you in a moment. And this weekend, Friday 21st and Saturday 22nd of February, Boston Spa Beer Festival. I believe this year is the 11th year, because I think it was last year that was the 10th, or it was the year before that was 10th. Pretty sure this is the 11th year, the Boston Spa Beer Festival. Very popular event, very busy. Family Day is on the Saturday, and more information about that is also on the website. You can check out the further details and contact details for all of these events on our website at www.tempofm.co.uk. Click on the local events tab at the top of the page, and we've also got the local news tab for other information.
Email your event to us, studio@tempofm.co.uk. At least 2 weeks in advance where possible. Get it on Tempo FM.
Yes, that's Tempo FM. You are listening to 107.4. I've just mentioned the website, but you can also send us an email. Email us at studio@tempofm.co.uk. I'll send a text to 82228, starting the message with the word tempo, followed by a space, and standard network rates apply. So today, it's been all about the flowers, and I'm going to play another sunflower song next. Now, this sunflower song, there's a little bit of information I want to give you about them. Obviously, they're a very positive flower. They are for happiness, cheerfulness, to help brighten someone's day, and they are named because, of course, they look like the sun. But there is a misconception about them facing the sun throughout the day. In fact, there is a name for this. It is called heliotropism, and there are plants out there that do follow the sun throughout the day. So they will move east to west or west to east, depending on where they are. No, it's always east to west, isn't it? What am I saying? They'll move east to west, following the track of the sun throughout the day. However, in the case of a sunflower, it is a common misconception that sunflowers do this, where they do not. Well, they do initially. They do it when they are younger, in a earlier development stage or in the bud stage, before the appearance of the flower head, whereas when they are fully grown, they tend to just sit and face one direction, which is usually facing east, I believe. A atypical bud of the plant will track the sun during the day from east to west, and then will quickly move west to east overnight as a result of the plant's here's a fun word, circadian clock. So they do have their own internal clock, which I think is very fascinating. I was being told earlier by my other half, who's in the studio here with me, although he's just sat on his phone ignoring me. Aha, he looked. He actually watched a documentary earlier, well, not earlier today, he told me about it earlier, by David Attenborough, and it was a time lapse watching plants actually following and turning themselves towards the sun. And he reckoned it was ferns. Yeah, he reckoned it was fern plants that were in this clip. And it was a time lapse throughout the day, and it was just so interesting to watch. I'm definitely going to be looking that up later if he remembers what the show was called. But good old David Attenborough, he is in everything. There's just so much footage of him. He's just so good to listen to, though, isn't he? Anyway, on with the music. Let's play Sunflower by Vampire Weekend featuring Steve Lacy. Oh, there's a bit of chat at the end of that one. That was Vampire Weekend with Sunflower featuring Steve Lacy. And today it's been all about flowers for the last hour and 40 minutes or so. It is 18 minutes to 1, which means I have just 18 minutes to squeeze in some more songs and an ad break. So the next song I'm going to play for you now is called China Roses by Enya. And an interesting fact for you: in Asia, presenting flowers as a gift, ideally red ones, are good for luck and is very much appreciated, but never a potted plant, as this signifies being bound or constricted. Having said that, the Chinese in particular favour decorations of twisted bamboo in boardrooms and meeting rooms, as it is thought to bring luck. And this practice does not take place in China, where companies with business interests in China may well have bamboo in their boardroom, wherever in the world they are based. So quite an interesting one for you there. I mean, to think that red ones are, I mean, in China, I mean, red is a very lucky colour. They do love the colour red, but never a potted plant. I wonder if a cup plant counts as anything. Anyway, here is Enya with China Roses, playing for you now. Next up after this, I'm going to play you Black Water Lilies by Aurora, and a bit later on, Mumford & Sons.
Tempo FM Travel.
Let's get an update on what's happening out on those roads right now. The A1M, north and south, looking nice and clear. Down to the M1, also looking nice and clear if you're heading that way. A64, also looking nice and green. Green means it's all nice and free-flowing. As for heading, let's have a look at Wetherby. So Wetherby, looking good. Slight patchy, slow patches, but then that could just be the buses on the bus route. It could be tractors or slow moving vehicles. Nothing major, basically. No big blockages. Going into Harrogate on the A661, the road going in is a little bit slow as you head towards the Empress roundabout. That might just be general traffic going on for the day. Going into Knaresborough, there are roadworks just after you come off the roundabout on the A59 heading into Knaresborough. That's roadworks there, where they are building a new roundabout for a brand new housing estate, which is going to be built up there. If you're heading towards York, there's some construction going on near Kirkhamerton, again on the A59. Centre of York looking busy again, around the upper side near Upper Poppleton and Rawcliffe, looking quite busy up there, of course, but we do have lots of lovely park and rides to go into on York, so you need not venture any further in there. Otherwise, looking nice and clear. If you hear or see of anything you think we should know about, think we should pass on, send us a text to 82228, starting the message with the word tempo, followed by a space, and your standard network rates apply.
Tempo FM.
Good times, great songs. Good times, great songs.
Yes, good times, great songs here at Tempo FM with Rebecca doing something a little bit different. It is 9 minutes to 1 o'clock, and that means I only have 9 minutes to squeeze in some more songs before the news and before I finish for the day and come back again next week. So I've been promising to tell you the meaning of, and symbolism of roses, and there are actually a number of different colours. Now, I was gifted purple roses last year. They were, in fact, dyed purple roses, but you can get, from what I can gather, you can actually get real purple roses. So they tend to be a lighter shade, and of course all of these different colours of roses you can get have different meanings, much like the tulips did earlier. So a red rose is the lover's rose and signifies enduring passion. White roses represent humility and innocence. Yellow represent expressing friendship and joy. Again, a nice positive one, just like the sunflowers and the yellow tulips, cheerfulness and happiness. Pink roses are for gratitude, appreciation and admiration. Orange, enthusiasm and desire. White, lilac and purple roses represent enchantment and love at first sight. And dyed roses are cheating. You can also get rainbow roses, but again, these are dyed. They are not the real colour. It's very clever how they're done. I once watched a tutorial on how to create dyed roses, and it's all about splitting the stem at the bottom and putting it into different coloured waters to make it come out just right. Of course, it doesn't always work. But obviously there are people out there who have perfected it, and you get these beautiful multicoloured roses. Well, speaking of roses, let's play one last rose-themed song. This is called Rose of Sharon, and it's by Mumford & Sons. Rose of Sharon there by Mumford and Sons. You've been listening to Rebecca doing something a little bit different, and this week the little bit different thing has been all about flowers, because obviously we've just had Valentine's Day and I'm sure many people received some kind of flowers. I actually received, surprisingly, because I told him not to, roses and lilies, which are absolutely beautiful. And the best way to keep your flowers going, of course, is to keep them in water. They'll perk right up. If they start to wilt again, trim the stems a little bit more at the bottom and they once again will perk up. You can make them last for as long as possible doing that, but obviously it gets to the point where they're just flower heads, so by that point you should probably just stop. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave off now with a song by Aurora, and it's called Black Water Lilies. Now, Aurora is in fact the sort of disembodied spirit voice in Frozen 2, who sings it's just the sound, so I can't say the lyrics or anything, but Aurora is the one who does that voice. It's not computer generated, it's not someone random, it's Aurora. She is a big star. I think she's Swedish, and the next song is called Black Water Lilies. And a really quick thing about lilies, or water lilies, they perfectly symbolize innocence, purity, fertility, pleasure, celebration, hope, rebirth, wellness and peace. So quite a big list going on there. And in all ancient cultures around the world, they associate the white lilies with gods and spirituality. So I'm not sure what black lilies are going to represent, but I hope you enjoy the song, and I'll hope you will tune in again next week.